Kimber Pro Carry 2 two-tone 9mm cleaning session. Quick review of how simple it is to break these down and clean these firearms up. Stand by. Folks, Cannonball Cats, hunting on the budget, Texas, here with you today. Going ahead and getting ready to clean up a firearm that I went to the range with the other day. Did a review on it earlier previously. It's the Kimber Pro Carry 2 two-tone 9mm firearm. First, real quick, let's go ahead and make sure that this firearm is safe. You can see there is, get my hand out of the way, no magazine. You can see that there is nothing in the chamber. There's a little dirty down in there, but you can see there's nothing in the chamber. So we can now work this firearm cleanly and safely and go from there. But anyhow, I'm going to go through a little cleaning session and just show you how easy it is to clean up these 1911s if you do them regularly and you don't let them get too scummed up with filth. I generally clean mine after about every 100 to 150 rounds. When I purchase a firearm, first thing I do is take it apart, disassemble it, and clean it before I go to the range. And then after every time at the range, generally I will disassemble and clean. Exactly in this situation right now as well. I went to the range the other day, put a little over 100 rounds through it. This firearm has been perfect from day one, has never had a single malfunction of any kind, and it is tight and right. So I'm extremely happy with it. And I had mentioned on my review that I was going to make this my EDC, and it is now ready. I'm 100% confident in its use and its function, its reliability. 100% confident in its reliability. I'll be running it with a Wilson Combat Mag, so I can run 10 rounds. And I believe that'll be perfect, and that'll be ample for me as far as my EDC. If I carry extra mags on me, that's fine. But what I'll be carrying in it is a 10-round Wilson Combat Mag. But anyhow, real quick, a couple of supplies. I just use standard rim oil for cleaning. Always have a round brush here. This is not for the barrel. I use this for different parts of the firearm. Always have little two-sided toothbrush style. Always have these guys. You can pick these guys up cheap online. I get packs of thousands of these, and basically I just pull them out as I need them. But they're good swabs. These are nice for getting into little cracks and crevices and breaking stuff free. So and then I'll of course always have a couple shop towels with me and some patches. I use generally I just use some type of bore snake. I'm not brand dependent, but I will use a bore snake. I use a bore snake on all my firearms, all calibers, whether it be my 444 Marlins, handguns, rifles, 308 rifles, 10mm handguns, 9mm handguns, 38, 357s, 380s, 22s, you name it. I use the bore snakes on all of them. Some people don't like them. I've never had an issue with them, and you know, some people are going to say that you do this, you do that, they don't do good, they don't do bad. Some people are going to say they're wonderful. Everybody's got an opinion, right? And everybody's just as right as the other guy. So I use it, never failed me. That's what I'm going to stick with. Other people probably don't like this either, but it is what it is. This is what I use. You can choose your own. They all work just as good as the other, folks. Don't let the Monday morning quarterbacks tell you different. They all work just as good as the other. They're all firearm cleaning products, and they work just fine. And then at the end, I always put a little bit of, I use Lucas myself, Extreme Duty. I have some Hops number 9 black, but most times on this one, I've used the Lucas Extreme Duty gun oil. It's a little bit thicker, and I'm at the point now where I'm not putting as much on here. I'm not running it super wet. So I like to just put a little bit on at the end. And I'll go over a couple of those spots where I place that oil as well once I get this firearm cleaned up. So These guns are very easy to break down. Some people say that there's a little bit of a problem with these bull barrels. You can do it two different ways. You can capture it. You can capture it with the tension and take this firearm apart. Just make sure that if you're not using the small capture recoil spring guide device, that you need to have that spring guide supported as you pull the slide off. In this instance, I'm going to use this because there's no need for me to clean the recoil guide, so I'm going to use this to make disassembly a lot easier. This is just a little piece. You can see that comes with the firearm. You can actually make this out of a paper clip as well. So anyhow, essentially the way you do that, there's a little hole right here that you catch that's going to lock it. So you quite simply take this, place it in that hole right there. You can see it's sticking out. You can't really see where it's in there, but it's out. Release the slide. It's captured now. Now all I've got to do is push it forward. Line it up with the disassembly slot on the 1911. If you're not familiar with what that is, do some research, do some reading, learn yourself. I'm not going to worry about showing you on the video. Pull that out. Slide stop pin. Bam. Pull that out. Now we've got the slide disassembled. Take out your recoil spring guide. Flip down your barrel lug guide there, and slide your barrel out the front. And now that's it. It's that simple. You've got your frame, got your barrel, got your recoil spring guide that is captured with this pin. Leave the pin in there if you're not going to clean this guy. And then of course you've got your slide stop release. There it is, broken down. It's that simple. Let me wipe my hands real quick. So essentially what I do is I focus all of my cleaning on the frame first. I generally do the slide secondary, and then I'll take care of the other parts. But there is one thing I do before I do any cleaning. I go ahead and I get my spray, my rim oil, and I take my individual parts and I go ahead and spray them. I do this every time. Oops. There's the slide stop, there's a recoil, barrel, spray it down. I don't spray a whole lot, I just spray it like that, and then I'll spray a little bit here. Spray a little bit, and I can see it dripping out on my rag there, and I'll lay that down, let it sit. I'm always careful not to spray too much oil up in this area here where your firing pin is. I don't want anything to get gummed up, but I will spray it down into the slide just a hair. Then I will set the slide over here, and now I can focus on my frame. And basically my frame, I don't do a whole lot of spraying on it. You can see how dirty it's gotten right here at the where near the feed ramp is, as well as on the rails, on the slide rails. That just came off just now with me wiping my finger across it. So you can see how dirty it is. So essentially all you really want to do is dampen up a couple patches, and you can dampen up a shop towel. You can dampen up these guys with some oil. You can use your brush. I like to use this wire brush to break things free. I also like to use this guy here. A lot of times I'll wrap one of these patches around this guy, then I'll feed it through here and wipe everything down and brush it out, and then I'll come back and wipe it again with a clean one just to make sure it's cleaned up. I'm not going to bore you with that, but I'm going to show you. You can see where it's dirty and what I took off just with my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and then I will get back to you afterward. Why bore you with that slow stuff? Okay, I'm back. Boy, that frame was really dirty. I had this is my first time using PMC bronze ammo, full metal jacket, and I'd been using some Federal before that, and the Federal seemed pretty clean. Man, this 100 over 100 rounds of this PMC, I'll tell you what, it dirtied up this frame quite a bit, but I got it clean now. Got a couple little touch-ups to do around it, but basically I got the internals and so forth cleaned out. You can see from previous, you can look at it and you can see that it is, much cleaner, looking really good. Nothing's oiled right now, just got it cleaned up, so that way I can move on to the slide, or yeah, excuse me, the slide, and still have the other parts sitting after spraying them. Still haven't touched those. I'm just leaving them there. Now I'm gonna move on to the slide and get this guy cleaned up. And this one, it's a black slide, so you're not gonna see any difference in it, but I can assure you it's probably gonna have a lot more than this to it. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up, and then we'll come back on again. All I'm gonna do here is wipe a lot of this down. I'm gonna wipe up this area here. I'm gonna clean off where the firing pin is and the ejector is. I'm gonna brush out the ejector. You definitely want to wipe everything down very good. I like to really work on these locking lugs as well, and just where the lockup is here, you get a lot of dirt here. I can show you again just by putting my finger in there and show you how dirty these things get. You can see how dirty they get. So let me get this thing cleaned up, and take me about 5 or 10 minutes, and then be right back on again. Coming back at you in a few. Okay, so I've got everything cleaned up now, so I'm ready for reassembly, and that was one of the things I didn't want to bore you with all the cleaning. If you want to know how to clean a firearm properly, there's other videos out there. I'm just showing you how to break it down, showing you the parts that I clean, and kind of just giving you a quick description of what I do, but didn't want to waste your time. I've been sitting here for the last 15 minutes getting everything else cleaned up with the slide, the barrel, the slide stop, and so forth, and didn't want to take too much of your valuable time. But I can tell you that, again, that PMC ammo is extremely dirty. This was just from the slide itself, and it's a lot of dirtiness. Can't think of the right words right now. There's a Q-tip I used, and then this was from on and around the barrel. I used the bore snake, of course, for cleaning out the interior, but you can see all the burnt powder and so forth. So it was very, very dirty. And but I'm going to put this back together now. Let me get these out of the way for a minute. And my cat is here saying hello, so give him a quick rub. But the reason why I wanted to show you what I'm doing here is so you can see how I oil this thing. Everybody has their own methods and what they like to do. I do it my way, and as long as it's successful for me, I'm going to continue doing it my way, and I recommend the same from you. I've taken a little bit of lessons and looked around, done a little research from what I can see online, and then I kind of established my own method. And to be quite honest with you, again, it works. It's been working on all my 1911s, so why change it, right? People may say that it's wrong, people may say it's right. It doesn't really matter because it's mine. And when it's mine, it's up to me to deal with, right? I do it my way. I take examples from others and then kind of convert it into my own method, and I live with the consequences, right? That's what we do. So what I do is I'll generally, on the very top of the rail, I will put 1 drop on each side of this Lucas. Then I will just take my finger and I will just do this. Okay. Now remember, this firearm is very well broken in, so I will do this down the rails, and I will not worry about this internal part of the slide rail. I will deal with that on the slide itself, though I will run my finger down it for any blotching that I just saw. But I will do that. I will wipe across the top here with just my finger, just to give it a little slick. I will wipe the ejector right there, and that's it. That's all I'm doing with this slide. Right, wrong, or indifferent, folks. It works for me. That's how I'm doing it. Now I'll take this, and what I will do is I will take my oil, and right here inside that little inlet cut for the rails, I'm going to put 1 drop on that one, and I'll put 1 drop on this side. And I missed it on that other side, so let me do that again. I'll wipe that up. It may It's not a perfect science, but dadgummit, I keep getting it on the edge there. Let me do it one more time for you folks. If I hold my tongue the right way, it'll work. All right, I got it that right. Got it that time. Now, anything that's on there, I'm just going to take and do this with my finger. That oil is right here, so as it slides on the rail, it will make its way through. I do take a little bit, put it on my finger right here, and then I just come over here and I just do like that. I do that just to give a little bit of slide there, and then I get down in here where these lockups are, and I just kind of stick my finger in there and roll it through and try to create just a little bit hair of moisture. I think I'll do it this way this time. Sometimes I do this with a Q-tip and it works as well. I'm going to do it this way right here because I'm having trouble getting to it because I need to cut my fingernails. Sorry. But this way I can get to it. I'm right inside those lugs. Put just a little bit that comes off of this guy here. And now I'm ready for reassembly other than one item. I need to make sure that there's some oil here on the barrel on this ring here. I always like to do that. That's something I read, and that's something that I do follow. On the internal here, I'm going to put a very small drop right there, and then I'm just going to work that swivel right quick. And I'm happy with that now. Let me wipe that itself. And this is a stainless barrel, so I'm not concerned so much. I've got some oil on my hands. I'm not concerned so much about a carbon barrel with getting finger oils and rust and so on because this is stainless. So and it'll be fine. And I clean this thing. I shoot it weekly, so clean it often. So I'm not too concerned about it. If you are concerned about it, something like that, all you do is get you a little bit like this, put it on your fingers, and then just go like this around your whole barrel. Now get some oil on there. Keep your hand oils from getting all over it, and there you go. You know what I mean? Very simple. Put this little swivel lug down, barrel goes back in, flip that up, go ahead and put in your recoil spring assembly. I like to lean that. Once I have that in, I like to push that ring forward so it's exposed right there. Take my firearm, I always go in inverted. It's just how I like to do it. I'm not trying to do this in a speed contest, so if I can get it to go, let me get my tongue right again. Hang on, let me get my tongue right. There we go, had to hold my tongue right. And I'm not doing this for speed, so I'm never too worried about getting it done in a quick amount of time. So I just take my time, do it inverted and so forth. Now this is always the fun part. Sometimes you have a little bit of an issue to find that ring there. Make sure that we get our slide stop through it. And sometimes I have missed it before, but it looks like it's lined up there. So I'm gonna stick this in there. Once I put this through, now it's right here, but I've got the barrel locked up. Okay, so now I don't have to worry as much about it. Now I just want to take it and make sure that little breakdown ring is in place. Remember, I told you can look that up online. Watch out for the idiot scratch here. You don't want to get that. You just want to kind of get it right up in front of that pin there and then shove it in, and bam, it's in. So now we've got the slide still unlocked. We've still got the capture pin there, so I go ahead and lock the slide back, take the capture pin out. I know it's hard for y'all to see what I was doing. Just trust me. Boom, reassembled. Check for functionality. I'll squeeze the trigger, bam, hold the trigger down, reset, click, and this baby is working exactly like it should. So we are done. That is how you easily take down a bull barrel 1911. The bushingless actually is what a lot of people want to call it, but it's as simple as that, folks. It's easy to clean, easy to put back together. There's other ways to do it. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. That's the way I do it. It's the way I skin it. Anyhow, a wonderful handgun. You'll notice some differences on this handgun. You'll notice a differing mainspring housing with the magwell. You'll notice some grip tape. You'll also notice that I have the front and rear sights painted. These are the factory sights that came, but I don't like the 3 white dot system, so I did 2 yellow in the back and orange in the front. Painted those myself, and it really gives me a much better sight picture. They are not night sights; they don't glow in the dark. So I got the color at least for the separation, and it makes it a lot easier for me lining up my front sight. So anyway, that's it, folks. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments section. If you like this video, and please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Check out the review of this handgun. Check out the review of a number of other handguns I have. Some of my old videos, if you want to see some of the things that I dealt with back a while back. I've grown, I've learned, and I'm still learning. We got something to learn every day when it comes to handling and enjoying this wonderful hobby and sport of firearms. So I try to learn something new every day. I try to educate myself, and I push for everybody to do the same that has an interest in firearms. Educate yourself, get to the range, practice so you're familiar with your firearms. If you're going to carry your firearms, be educated. Don't be ignorant. Too much of that going on, right? We have enough issues with the folks that want us to be disarmed. Educate yourself, do things right, handle your firearms in the proper manner, understand how to carry them, understand the uses of the firearms and how they operate, and it'll go a long ways to promoting our rights to continue to own, bear, and have fun with firearms, and keep them for our self-defense of person and property, and as well as our country if ever needed. I thank y'all for being here, and God bless you. God bless America. God bless Texas. Cannonball Cat signing out. Take care.